Do not use butter when cooking your wild morels. I know everyone has told you to do it that way, but it's actually a huge mistake, and I'm going to explain why. So let me show you my method of cooking morels. It's going to make them delicious with an amazing texture, but still tons of flavor. I start by cutting my morels into halves. If they're especially large, I may quarter them as well, mainly into bite-sized pieces, keeping in mind that they are going to shrink quite a lot. After that, I actually dunk them into cold water and agitate it all around a little bit. With all of the pits and folds in morels, dirt and debris easily get trapped in them, along with a bunch of little bugs and things like that. Yes, when you're foraging for wild food, bugs often come into the mix, and it's just a little bit of extra protein with your meal. Anyways, I haven't found a good way that actually removes all that stuff without fully using water. A lot of people may be concerned that this is going to ruin the texture, but I have never found that to be the case. You know what will ruin the texture though? All of the dirt and sand that's in the pits and the fold, so I'm always really thorough with cleaning them. After that, I'll pour the water off and then put all the mushrooms into a pan with a little bit of salt and turn the heat on. I don't add anything else at this stage. First, what we're doing is we're going to cook off the extra water and allow the morels to sweat the water that's in them. I usually cover at the beginning to allow everything to heat up a little bit more evenly, and then remove the lid once it has all started to boil. Once the water has almost evaporated, I'll add in a neutral oil like avocado oil. This will prevent the morels from sticking to the pan or burning, and it's going to help them to crisp up quite a bit. Eventually the water will evaporate off and you'll have just the oil. Make sure to stir everything so that the mushrooms are fully coated. And because you sweat the mushrooms first, you may find that you need to use far less oil than you are used to if you don't normally sweat your mushrooms when you are cooking them. I keep the heat on medium-high at this stage and keep on turning them and cooking them until they've reached my desired level of texture, and I personally like them to be quite crispy. Another thing that you can look for is that they've developed a nice rich brown color to let you know that they're about done. I turn the heat down once they get there, and then I'll start to add in whatever extras that I want. A lot of times, I'll be honest, I'm happy to eat them straight, just like this, nothing else added. But sometimes I do like to use some other flavor components like garlic or soy sauce, things like that. At this stage, I will also add in butter. I know, I said don't do it, so why am I putting it in now? Butter is actually totally fine to add, and it brings in a rich decadence to the eating experience that nothing else can quite mimic. But when you use it to cook the morels from the very beginning, chances are they'll start to burn before you're able to develop a nice full texture and flavor of the mushrooms. So you'll constantly be stuck between trying to balance those two things. By adding the butter after, we get the best of both worlds, the flavor and the texture. But don't take my word for it. This is also recommended by my personal cooking and culinary hero, J. Kenji Lopez Alt, in his article on Serious Eats. At the very end, I'll top everything off with a little bit of sliced American wild onion, an incredible wild food to bring everything together. And if you want to find more morels so that you can cook them just like this, then you can watch this video right here, where I'm going to show you a bunch of delicious wild foods that will take you into the woods where you can find more of them. I think you're going to love it, and I hope to see you there.